Right, right, and you have a lot to do with that. So let's talk about your role at the state level. You mentioned your local coach there in Dayton, and still actively trying to grow that program, right?
Yep. Yep.
um, and recruiting and doing everything that we hear that wrestling philosophy in Ohio Matt Media. We try to tell the story of how can a coach at the high school level grow their girls program, and we don't necessarily have to dive into that right now. We can, but at the state level, you've really just, I mean, your trajectory. You talked so quick, but it went like this, and
Yeah.
now you're involved at the state level, obviously, and beyond. So tell us what you do at the state level for wrestling in Ohio.
Yeah, for sure. So back to when I moved back home to Dayton, I knew I had a feeling that things were about to take off. We all knew that sanctioning would be happening within a year, two, tops 3 years, and 3 years goes by really fast in the sport. And during that time frame, and I think we talked about this on a previous interview, but I received a grant from NWCA to go to the Leadership Academy. And it was during that time I was there at the Leadership Academy. I was there with Randy Miller, Lee Janes, Charlotte Fowler, Paulina Biega, um, just all these crazy heavy hitters from women's wrestling, like a D1 women's coach, Randy Miller, an Olympian, world medalist Lee Janes. I mean, just crazy. Going there, I knew it would be special, but I didn't know it would catapult my career like it did. And one of the things Mike Moyer just reiterated over and over and over, especially to the women's coaches there, if it's not you, then who is it? And that question resonated with me so much while I was in Baltimore. Um, that's kind of where the recruiting thing idea just came out of nowhere. I came home from the convention and I was like, this is crazy to me that nobody has any resources for women's wrestling recruiting unless they're paying for it. And nobody was out there helping these families get involved with colleges. Nobody other than the families themselves. And so many of them don't know anything because they're first generation kids, or they don't even know how to walk through FAFSA or anything about any of it. I mean, people are literally clueless. And I was just seeing it left and right. And I knew that I didn't have all the answers, but I knew that I had the energy to find them out. And that's what motivated me to just put all those puzzle pieces together with the recruiting piece and really start working on that Facebook group. And I already had a lot of the connections. I already knew a lot of the coaches, but it really kind of brought it all together where I was able to actually help people with the networking. Like, it was one thing to do the networking and meet all these people. Okay, great. Yeah, I can get my girls from my high school into these schools, but it's not just about my girls in my high school. So the recruiting thing really came into fruition within the last 18 months since I moved home. And that has just led to other opportunities, like we were talking about with the state. And when I went to the Wrestle Like a Girl Gala in Colorado, we had the state meeting that same weekend. And I didn't think that I would be able to get on the call to participate in the meeting. And when I did, our women's co-director just kind of said, hey, we were talking about you being on the ballot for the beach director. And I got to give my elevator pitch in 30 seconds. He called me up and said, you weren't on the call. We want to talk to you. We want to hear what you're about. So I kind of gave my elevator pitch, and they voted on the beach director right there while I was in Colorado Springs for the Wrestle Like a Girl Gala. So I found out there that I was voted as the beach director, which was really cool because that was right after we got back from Romania. Probably only maybe 2 or 3 weeks after we got back from Romania.